You know, nobody tells you about the silence. That's the thing about retirement they don't put in the brochures.
They show you beaches and golf courses and smiling couples holding hands. But they don't show you Tuesday.
At 2 in the afternoon, when the house is so quiet, you can hear the refrigerator humming in the next room.
I'm Frank. I'm 70 years old. And I've been retired for, God,
6 years now? 7? Time does this funny thing when you got nowhere to be. I worked for the Postal Service, 38 years. Same route, mostly. I knew every dog, every broken mailbox, every person who'd wait by the window for their Social Security check. Then one day they threw me a party with sheet cake from Costco, gave me a plaque, and that was it. Pause. My wife died 4 years before I retired. Cancer. Shirley. We were going to do all those things, you know? See the Grand Canyon, visit our daughter in Oregon more often. But then she got sick and, well, plans change. So when I retired, it was just me. Another pause. Longer. The first few months weren't so bad. I slept late, watched a lot of TV, fixed things around the house that didn't really need fixing. I told myself I was adjusting. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Adjust. But then the months turned into years, and I realized I wasn't adjusting, I was just waiting. Waiting for the day to end so I could go to sleep, waiting for sleep to end so I could make coffee, waiting for something I couldn't even name. My daughter calls every Sunday, like clockwork. "How are you, Dad?" And I say, "Oh, fine, keeping busy." But I'm not busy. I'm the opposite of busy. I'm so unbusy that sometimes I forget what day it is. The routine, it gets into your bones. You wake up around 6:30 because your body's been doing it for 40 years. You make the same breakfast, 2 eggs, toast, coffee. You read the paper even though half the news just makes you angry or sad. You watch the morning shows, you have lunch, you watch more TV. Maybe you go to the grocery store, take the long way, just to be around people for a bit. Then it's dinner. Something simple. A sandwich, maybe, or soup from a can. Then it's evening and the silence gets heavier. And you think, is this it? Is this what I worked all those years for? Sound of shifting in the chair. I started having these thoughts, dark ones. Not about, but just, what's the point? My body hurts more than it used to. My knees sound like Rice Krispies when I stand up. I look in the mirror and I don't recognize the old man looking back. And the worst part? I was scared. Scared to try anything new because what if I can't do it? What if I look stupid? What if I fail? At 70 years old, who wants to be the old guy who can't figure things out? So I didn't try anything. I just stayed in my routine. Safe. Miserable, but safe. Pause. Then one day, I don't even remember what day, I stood there looking at that flyer for probably 5 minutes. People walked past me. I just stood there. And something in me, some little voice said, "Why not?" So I wrote down the number on the back of my grocery receipt. Took me 3 days to actually call. I must have picked up the phone 10 times and put it back down. What do I know about reading to kids? What if they don't like me? What if I'm no good at it? But I called. And the lady who answered, she was so nice. Her name was Margaret. She said, "Oh, honey, we'd love to have you. Can you start next Tuesday?" I almost said no. Right there on the phone, I almost said, "Actually, I changed my mind." But instead, I said, yeah, I can do Tuesday. That first day, man, I was so nervous I got there 40 minutes early, sat in my car in the parking lot like some kind of weirdo, finally went in, Margaret showed me to the children's section. There were maybe 8 kids there, all squirmy and loud. She handed me a book, Where the Wild Things Are. I knew that one, read it to my daughter 1,000 times. So I sat down in this little chair that was way too small for me, and I started reading. And you know what? Those kids, they listened. I mean, not perfectly. One kid kept picking his nose, another one was more interested in her shoelaces, but they listened. And when I did the voice for the monsters, one little boy laughed. Just laughed, like it was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. I can't explain what that did to me. That little laugh. For the first time in years, I felt useful. Like I mattered. Like I wasn't just taking up space. I went back that Thursday, and the Tuesday after that, and pretty soon some of the kids started recognizing me. Mr. Frank, Mr. Frank. They'd run up when I came in. One little girl, Maria, she always wanted me to read the same book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Every single time. I must have read that book 50 times, but she loved it. And you know what? So did I. It didn't fix everything. I still go home to an empty house. I still have days where the silence is too loud. I still miss Shirley so much it physically hurts. But now, I got Tuesdays and Thursdays. I got something to look forward to. I got a reason to shave and put on clean clothes and leave the house. And it's funny, once I started...
Anyway, that's my story. That's what changed things for me. One decision, one phone call, one little boy's laugh. Sometimes, that's all it takes. I should probably get to bed. Got to read to the kids tomorrow. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it.